Welcome back, Tuesday Tips, episode 49. We got 6x6 walkthrough solves. I decided that like half an hour of walkthrough solves is a reasonable amount, so we're just going to do half an hour 6x6, 5x5 was last week, 7x7 is next week, and then we're going to do some solve analysis on my solves and other people's solves. So we're going to go ahead and get straight on into it. Got these 3 cubes. We'll probably do 4 6x6 walkthrough solves, so we'll see. It depends how long it takes. Let's zoom in just a tad. Alright, here we go. Solve 1, let's see what we got. It's a pretty easy start. We got a bar right here on green, pretty obvious, along with this bar right here. So this is, for this one, I would definitely plan and go ahead and I definitely plan to 3 bars. So you can easily see the first 2 bars here with this bar, and then, I don't know if I wouldn't be able to do this blind probably, but I would know that these 3 pieces and this piece right here are going to make the final bar, so essentially I'd start out by I'd do this, and that would give me my first 2 bars. I know that this is here with that piece there, and then I'd kind of do this to make the 3rd bar. This 3rd bar I had to think about, but the first 2 bars are completely blind. Here, I'm already seeing a few things. Blue is looking like it's going to have some easy cases, but it's not too obvious, so I'm just going to go ahead, finish off my green bar right here. Then next up we got a couple options. Blue is this middle bar right here is almost done, so we're gonna do that. In this situation right here, we have 2 options. Actually, if I saw this, the best option right here actually. So 2 options. If you didn't see anything, you use this middle bar and you want to take out the middle piece because you want to take out your middles first. It's more important to get rid of this piece than this piece. But what actually I see here is that you can use these 2 pieces and these 2 pieces to finish a full bar. So line these 2 up, and the best option would be to make this bar on top, insert this bar, and now we got 2 middle bars. In this case, what we're gonna do is we saw this, we could do this slice, but then this is a bad case, so we're gonna leave this case as a little better, and that worked out nicely because right here, and then so right here what we're gonna notice is we're finishing our second or our blue center, but we already are gonna look ahead to our orange center. So right here we got this 2x2, which is going to pair nicely with this 2x1 to make a 2x3. And so I already know that's what I'm going to go for on the orange center. So finish this blue bar, move this back, 2x3. And then, luckily we see here, finish the 2x4. Now, in this case, we see, actually, well, this is actually pretty easy. I actually might go for this. So this is actually a pretty unique case because of how it said there's a full white bar and this piece right here is like looking really easy. So I'm not 100% sure if I do this in the solve, but what I can do right here, solve this white bar on left. And now we got 2 white bars on left, which are very easy because you already have 2 orange bars and we're doing essentially 2 partial centers here. Pretty easy here. Now we can choose whichever one we want. We can do white or orange. We were on orange originally, so I'd probably stick with orange. Finish orange. Oops, that was pretty bad, but there we go. And then right here, this is a pretty simple case. Slice, U2, slice back. And now we got white. The unfortunate thing about it here is that we got white on top, but it's pretty easy, so I'd stick with white on top for this just because 2 bars are already done. So we got this piece here. Then we already know the corners here. I would have remembered that there. So boom. I forgot to be on Tuesday Tips thing. Oh, was I? I think I am. Okay, here we go. Let me keep going. Anyway, so now we got last 2 centers. Yellow. So actually what I'd see here is there's a couple ways to do this. You could do a gamble because you don't know what's going to happen. You can make your first bar with these 3, and then the second bar looks pretty easy as well here. Or you can kind of make this 2x3 here. The thing is you don't know. In this case it would have worked out well because you got this 2x1 here to match really quickly. But I wouldn't really recommend that because I'm unsure of what's going to happen, and honestly doing it like this is probably just as fast. This is another nice case. 3rd bar, pretty simple. And then this is an unfortunate case. It's going to require a commutator, but what you going to do? Then I do a rotation because I don't unslice. Probably not the best idea, but it's kind of how I've been doing it. We're looking for orange and blue. Luckily they're right here. Next thing I see is blue and white. Blue and white. We got 3. Looking for our next blue and white. Last one's right here. As we've noticed, I've already noticed green and white, there's 2 of them right here. That's the best I see on top. So I know because I've been looking that this is here, but I'd probably go for this green and white setup. And then green and white right here. Flip, insert, which isn't ideal, but that's probably what I do in a solve. Finally, green and white. Now I definitely go for actually one of these 2 options. Actually, I'd probably do this one up first, because this one, super easy, obviously. Solved edge, this RUR prime, boom. Then this one. Now there's a couple of things right here we want to look at. This is actually an interesting case, because we got this one, we got these green and yellows right here, and we got our blue and yellows right here, and blue and yellow right here. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to put this blue and yellow in this bottom layer like this, so that we can slice, flip, slice. But it's deceiving because in this case, you're like, wow, okay, we already got this next edge is obviously green and yellow, green and yellow. So what you might want to do is, actually what we're going to do is something trickier. So if you notice here, to finish this blue and yellow bar, we're already going to, or blue and yellow edge, we're already going to need to do 1 flip. So no matter what, we're going to have to do a flip. And so if we do a flip, that's fine, as long as we keep it at 1. But if we insert this blue and yellow like this, now we notice that the green and yellow is not lined up with the green and yellow over here, and we can't do a flip, or we could do an awkward flip like this. We could do this flip here, but the best option I think is just straight up insert the edge like, or how would I have done it? Actually, that might be the best option. How was I gonna do it? Oh, right. I was gonna insert the edge over here. So you see here, we now have green and yellow here, green and yellow here, which these will line up nicely. And then all we have to really do is we need to flip this blue and yellow edge independent of the blue and yellow wings. So we do this move, flip, realign, solve this. See our last green and yellow here. We already know the solved green and yellow is here. Boom, 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 boom. 2 edges, pretty quick. That's something that's like sort of reasonable to be doing. White and red are next. And then we notice we have all 4 on top. We do this rotation at the same time. Pretty standard white and red right here. Then we see a couple of things. We got red and yellow. There's a lot of stuff when you're on your last couple edges. But in this case, I think the best option is probably just going for orange and green. There's all 4 edges. You're just going to need a flip to completely solve them. While we notice that, we can keep track of, actually what we should have done is we should have inserted this red and yellow to be flipped, so we have 3 in a row, but it's okay. And then we know red and yellow from earlier is going to be in this position. Oh wait, whoops. That was my bad. We actually accidentally solved another edge, which is a rookie mistake. We did 9, but it's alright. So now we have, if we watch my last 4 edges video, we have a case where we have 1 middle solved and 3 mixed ones. So you're just going to do a quick cycle. We're going to use this little trick right here. We see that red and blue can be cycled, but they're matched right here. So, and we want to pull out this back edge right here to do the cycle. So we're going to do F prime, R prime, U prime, F, R prime. And now we have these 3 edges are preserved, except this one is now flipped, and this one is now, this one from the back is now in the U face. So we can do a quick cycle. We're going to do a smart cycle. We're going to do just this inner one. So that way when we cycle this one back, we now have 3 pieces solved right here. So looking at this, we have a couple options right here. The best option is actually pretty clear. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to cycle this red or this orange and yellow piece to here. And then we're going to put, so here I'll kind of just show you. So we want to, if you're in this position and we're going to cycle this orange and yellow piece up to here, what you're going to want to do is you need to flip this edge. So you need to get this edge over here kind of just straight up in that position. And you want to pull this edge out at the same time, so you have 2 in front and 2 on top. So what you're going to do, put this last edge in front, because if it's back here and you do RUR prime, now, or RUR, now it's stuck over here. So we're going to go in front, RUR, and now we have 2 edges. This is set up for a cycle along with this one right here. So we're going to do something pretty tricky right here now. So we're going to do this cycle, and what we look next is we have the next clear. I have orange and yellow right here ready to be solved. And the next one we see is we have green and red also ready to be solved. We're going to do the cycle. And now we have a couple options. If you're kind of not thinking too hard about it, you might, let's insert this one right here like this, cycle back, and now we can do a flip here and then do another cycle. But that's not very efficient at all. If we insert into this position, so pretty much the same insert, just RUR prime, or you insert it like this, which is just a flip insert. Now, essentially, we can cancel into a double cycle. So if we're back here, essentially, if we set it all the way back, we just go back here. But it just cancels into this next cycle. This is one of the cases that I know is going to give me a 1 al case anyways, because it's just a 5x5 last 2 edge case, so it's not a big deal. Do that, and then we'll do some 3x3, which I'm bad at, but we'll see if anything interesting comes up, which probably won't. Parity. RUDG perms, very important. And that's solve 1. Alright. Let's see. Solve 2, here we go. Just looking around. Couple options. I'm seeing blue is probably the best. Not as ideal as I would have liked it, but... So blue is a little annoying because this is a 1-move bar, obviously. But these two, these look like they could line up, but they don't actually line up, so... Let me look if there's anything else. I'm pretty sure blue is... I don't know, white is... Blue, white, red... I could do something really aggressive on red. I don't know. This one, I'm just going to do blue. I spent too much inspection time already. So essentially what we got here on blue is nothing tricky. This is obviously a 1-move bar, and we're going to go ahead and solve this bar as well. So we're going to do this. So 1-move bar, boom. Make this 2x1, 2x1, boom. 2 bars over here. Not a big deal that they're not adjacent. It's not too big of a deal right there. It wouldn't have been worth it to do the L2 to make them adjacent. Then we see these 4 pieces make the next bar. Insert. And see, that insert just costs us 1 slice versus an L2. I think a slice is faster, so. And we make the final bar. Now we see something like this. I'd probably just go ahead and build this bar across right here on top. Build that bar. Probably join these 2 up. I wouldn't want to break these 2 up. So I'd probably do right here is I want to put this next piece over here. I'd want to get a piece right here, so I'd do this. But then I'd just go ahead and do this F prime right here to make sure I don't break these up later. It's okay that I messed up that white bar. It wasn't too much worth saving, but it ended up still being together. Then let's just finish off this green bar. Last bar. Now at this point, we're already looking on to the next center. And we're probably going to do white. Especially if you're building your last bar, you obviously want to be looking at your next center. We're probably going to do white just because you see a lot of white. We know that these moves, nothing's going to mess up this right here. And we got this bar right here. So we're just going to go back. And we kind of see what we see. We got this 1 move. We're just going to, there's definitely a better way that I'm going to do this. But it'd be pretty tricky. So we're just going to go ahead and do something simple. Solve that. Bar 2. This is a pretty standard case. Bar 3. Just put this in this position because I know that's how it's going to need to be useful. Bar 4. Now I know this is red. Unfortunately, red is good on the top side. We're not going to do this rotation. I don't really like doing this rotation. I'm not sure if it's great or not, but we're just going to do this. R2, F2, R2. Then we have outer bar 1. This is a nice case right here. These match up really easily. And then we can make sure we build it and insert at the same time. So match, insert. This is a pretty standard case. There's a couple ways you could do it. You could do this insert right like here and then do RU moves. I usually like doing it like this. And right in this scenario right here, make sure you save this outer bar. I already saw this, which is like pretty ridiculously easy. In this specific case, you can just go ahead and put this entire 2x4 on the right side and this 1x4 over here, and it leads you straight into a commutator case, which is super weird that this happened. Pretty rare. In this specific case, I'd also see these 3 edge pieces right here, and I'd save them before finishing my centers, and then do this insert. And I got these 3 edges solved already. I'm going to make a mental note of seeing red and white, red and white, and red and white. So this piece edge is next. There's the edge. And now I know the red and white edge is on bottom, so I'm going to do this rotation, slice, and rotate like this. Red and white. This is a good position to do a back insert. Red and white. Blue and white. I don't see anything up here, so I'm going to flip. I would have seen this right here. This is a pretty nice thing to save, so I'm going to go ahead and save that by doing a back insert with this blue and white to take out this piece. And then insert this blue and white. I'm not even necessarily going to go for this edge, which is red and yellow or green and white, but it's nice to have there. I see blue and red with these two flips, so we're going to do this. Insert, flip. Blue and red right here. Insert, solve. Blue and orange is next. Unfortunately, this one requires a flip. We got these two. There's nothing we can, we got this one over here, so we can just do this first, but it's not a big, it doesn't matter which order we do this in. Flip. Next thing we see is we're going to, remember green and white from earlier, we see green and white, so we can make 3 pieces really quick. We're just going to go ahead and do this move as well. Notice here we now have the 3 pieces with 1 flipped, which is a very nice case. It does require a flip, but it's still pretty quick. So instead of inserting this right here, which would remove this red and yellow, we're going to insert the green and white over here, noting that we have this red and yellow, so it'll be clearly our next edge. Insert anything in here because we know our next edge already. Oops, what was that? There we go. Red and yellow. Notice blue and yellow here is also going to get lined up. These two are now in the correct edge position. Blue and yellow. 3 pieces right here. Last, finish off our 8th edge, blue and yellow. In this case, like, I don't see anything. I just insert this randomly. It's not a big deal. We got another nice case. We got green and yellow right here. So we're going to do a 3 cycle again. We have the same pretty much set of 3 cycle where we need to flip this edge and pull this one out. So, wait, what was it? 1 second. There we go. And into our 3 cycle. In this case, we don't really see any benefit, and like this is like honestly a god awful case. So we're just gonna go ahead and do a wide slice and see what we can do on the way back. And it is just a terrible case. So now we have 5x5 edges, and honestly the worst possible 5x5 edges. There's like no real good start here. I'm just gonna do an MU2, M2 to get going. Now we can see we have a cycle. We can cycle this obviously to make 1 edge. We're gonna go ahead and cycle this back, the green and yellow. That way we're gonna have a pure flipped edge. And that way, when we don't have parity, we're going to end up with parity on the pure yellow edge, which allows us to cancel it at the end because I only do white cross. 3x3 stage. Now we have the outer parity case. OLL and PLL parity adjacent. Alright, solve 2. Here we go on solve 3. This cube needs to be broken in, man. I haven't used this cube in like 2 weeks. Alright. Let's see what we got for solve 3. Alright, solve 3, I immediately see orange. Orange is a pretty nice case, actually. So these two are going to line up real quick into this, which will pair with this. So I'm going to look at orange. I can see these 6 pieces right here make a quick 2x3. So I'm kind of looking for that last piece, which isn't obvious. It's like right here, but I need a corner to go with it. Okay, never mind. I see it now. So what we're going to do here is, I think orange is, ooh, red actually might be better. The thing is, red is also pretty easy and has a better continuation. All right. Check this out. Okay, this would be a pretty risky start. I don't know if I do this in the competition, but this is how I'm going to do red. So I can make a 2x4 bar up here with only the M pieces on red, and I can remember that this 2x1 right here is still here. So here's what's going to happen. This 2x1 paired to this 2x1, which paired to this 2x1. So this one here, this one goes here, this one goes here. And then this piece right here will pair with this corner to go right here. So what we're going to do is this, R wide 2, R wide 3. And we get 2 bars. And then we know that this was still here because untouched. And we have a quick 3 bars. This is a pretty ballsy thing to do in a competition because it is very complicated, but I'd probably go for it, depending on the comp. In this case, we see we got this red piece. We want to match with this. We might as well go ahead and save this 2x2 we got going here. At very worst, it'll make a quick bar. Takes almost no extra time, and it removes all red from the top, so we know it's not going to like have it. Really, almost no cost to save it later. Finish off this bar. The only cost is that we now have to do this insert like that. Now we can see here, quick 2x1 matches with this, and then we're going to go ahead and finish off 2 bars, which definitely was worth it from earlier saving that. We're going to make our next bar. Right there, insert. This is a weird case. Trying to save this yellow is not worth it because you're going to have to break it up. It'd be a lot of effort, so I'm just going to break that up. And in this case, we got kind of lucky. We're definitely going to do yellow here. Green is nice. Yellow is definitely best when you see this, but I wouldn't have seen that. Green is nice, but it's too complicated. So we're just going to go ahead and yellow, first bar. Now we're going to look for the partner to these 2 pieces. Unfortunately, they don't exist, but now we see this. So we're going to go ahead and make this square, which leads up into that. Then we see this, so we're going to save these 2 pieces. Actually, no, what we do is, this might be a little advanced for in the middle of a solve. I'd probably just go ahead and do this. But ideally, we're now in this case, we got this bar, and this bar is 1 piece from done. And we can just go ahead and finish this one, and then fix that one. Now we're in this case, which is unfortunate because it sucks. 2 like M moves, or slice moves. I don't know, but 2 of those moves. We're going to finish out this bar right here. Just go MU2 M prime. Put it on left. Right here. Or we definitely want to use this piece for multiple reasons. One, because we don't want to break up these. And this piece is now in this layer, so definitely a good idea to get out of it. In this case, I'd probably just go for the outer bar because making this middle bar is going to be a little uncomfortable. And the outer bar might break some things up. Actually, it won't, but now we got this case. And there. So now we already have the middle bar solved. Very nice. We're going to go ahead and solve the next bar on left. Now we have this case, which I don't recognize this last 2 center case. This is just kind of a high slice count case, really annoying. And then this case right here. That was a pretty bad last 2 bar case, but it's okay. We see red and blue right here. It's going to require a flip no matter what, so we're just going to go ahead and do it like this. Solve these 2, flip. Solve that one, flip. Orange and white. Also, we see right here. This is a pretty nice case. We have orange and white here that we're originally building, but we see that now this is better to do orange and blue because orange and blue last piece is here. Slice, flip, slice. Solve that. Back insert for this orange and blue. And because we were already looking around, we know that the orange and white must be on the bottom. So we're going to do this rotation. Find the orange and white. Now from earlier, we know the orange and white is now back here. Solve this edge. We're going to go ahead and do blue and yellow, which isn't great, but we got lucky because the next blue and yellow piece is right here. We're going to rotate because we remembered we were looking around the whole time. We saw no blue and yellow. We're going to keep this piece in mind right here. We're probably going to want to save this or look for red and yellow, but red and green is clearly the best because these can be solved with no flip. All right, blue and yellow here. We're going to insert on this side. All right, now we're definitely doing red and green. Luckily, we don't have to do anything to save this because we can just match these up. Now we just know these 2 pieces are right here. So now we're looking for red and green. There's a piece right here. Insert that while taking the red, blue, and yellow bar out. Solve the first 2 red and greens. We got 3. Solve the last one. Now we saw blue and yellow, blue and white, blue and white. Unfortunately, we don't see the last blue and white. We're going to go look for it. It must be here. This one's going to require a flip no matter what, so that's just kind of how it goes. Flip. Green and yellow is clearly the best next option. These 3 will line up real quick. And then we got blue and green and yellow finishing off right here. We also noticed this orange and yellow is probably the next one. Orange and yellow right here. And this is nice. Just kept showing up. Orange and yellow, boom, right there. Now we got here is a pretty interesting case. It doesn't actually matter. If I see these 2 pieces though, these blue, in this case, if I see green and white together, and I have one of these cases, in this case it doesn't matter because no matter how you insert it, these are going to get preserved. But if this was like or if this was like this, I'd make sure to insert it so that these 2 pieces go on the yellow centers so that they stay together. But in this case, it doesn't matter. Misaligned. So now we have one of the we have a case where all 4 are incorrect. But in this case, I'd go ahead and do something different than kind of what I talked about with the doing a 3 cycle first, because you can do a quick. This is a pretty interesting case because it's a slice flip slice to solve the whole edge really quickly, very fast. I'm going to go ahead and do this, and it will lead me into a much easier case, which now we have this cycle in front. I'm going to do a smart cycle here, which wasn't, I could have done it the other way, which actually would have been faster because I could have sliced both of these back, but it's okay. And then this is the clear cycle. Solve this piece. Make sure that these 2 match up, which give you a higher I don't know, but higher chance of it being solved, luckily. So I usually try and match up things where I can. And then 3x3 stage. No parity. So fast. Oh, never mind. Whoops. Make sure you know your parity. And all right, that was 3. We're gonna do one more. I'll do one more. Alright, last one. Check out this solve. Alright, first thing I see right here is I see a red. Red looks pretty nice. We got this 2x1, this 2x1, this 2x1. This piece right here I don't think I'd end up using. But this is a pretty quick 2 bars, I think. It's actually a little unfortunate. It's not as easy of a 2 bars as I would have hoped. But this is actually really annoying. It's okay. So what we're going to do here is these 4, if you discount this corner, actually no, we need all the pieces. These 8 pieces are the first 2 bars. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go this, make the first bar, keep this corner in mind right here. That's an okay 2 bars, but not the greatest. We're going to next work on our next bar, middle bar. This bar right here. This is a weird case for orange. I'm not going to bother saving anything. Now that I have this full orange bar and it's very easy to save, I will save this though. See, like, required no effort to save that bar. In this case, I mean, in this case what you want to do is you want to do this. You don't want to insert like this. Actually, wait, sorry. I thought I got caught up for something. You want to insert like this. Or, actually, now that I think about it, this is the best way to insert because when you make your next middle bar, you can pull out these 2 pieces at the same time with no slice. So, middle bar, pull out both pieces, no slice. Next middle bar. You will need a slice here, but that's kind of how that goes. Final bar. We already noticed white here is getting really easy. Wow, it's really easy. But we're going to go for white. We're going to finish the bar we already saw. Now we see this. We're going to go for the outer 2 bars, which isn't ideal, but these are really easy. So, in this case, there's 2 options. You can move this bar up or this bar down. We definitely want to move this bar down because now there's only 1 piece stuck between these 2 bars versus the 3 up here. So we're going to use this piece instead of this piece because these 2 pieces are already aligned together. Boom. Now we're going to do this slice right here. And the last white piece is down here. And now we have a nice case. So we have, this is a really hard to recognize fast case, but we have 2 bars like almost done. If you see these 3 and these 3, and this piece right here, boom, 2 bars. That's really tough to recognize. I'm still not even that good at it. This is a clear outer bar, so I'd go for this one next. And then, this is unfortunate. It's kind of like hard to recognize that you want to just join up the middles and then make the outers kind of the wings attached to these pieces anyway. So we're going to join up the middles, attach 1, attach 2. And we probably just wouldn't notice this and then go straight there. This is a pretty standard case. Match up the 2 yellows. This is another standard case. You can do it one of 2 ways. You can do it like this and then insert, or you can do it like, oh, I lost the point. But wow, now this, I messed around with it, ended up with a no commutator case. And here we go. So now we got blue and yellow. We're going to do some blue and yellow. Blue and yellow right here. What we're going to do right here is we're actually going to pull out these 2 blue and yellows. Even though we got this blue and orange, which is going to be next, we're just going to make a note to that. It'd be too confusing to keep going with that blue and yellow final one. In this case, though, we know blue and orange is next, so we're going to keep this blue and orange in. Rotate. We found the final blue and orange right here. We're also noting that green and orange is right here. And wow, okay, so if we saw this, what we do instead is that we see these 2 blue and oranges right here. We have this blue and orange, or green and orange, all 4 pieces are right here, very quick. And this blue and orange, we can easily make this edge and put this one back in very quickly. Finish up blue and orange from earlier. Green and white, pretty standard. Looking for green and white. Green and white right here. We might notice blue and white. You might as well just solve this so when we put this piece in, we don't mess it up. Now we're looking for blue and white. It's over here. resolve this. Flip. Clear red and yellow next, as these two are already in the right spot. Fortunately, now we're looking for red and yellow. Last piece here. See red and blue probably next. Unfortunately, nothing. We're just going to insert. Since we don't really see much, but we have 3 edges solved, we're just going to go ahead and solve all 4 on top. That way now everything's right here. Red and blue right there. Red and blue right here. Orange and white pretty obvious. And the final orange and white right here. Flip. Insert. And then nothing really to save here. We're just going to realign. Wow, we actually didn't use my fancy thing once this time. So we have here is we have a solved one in the back, and we have one solved in the back. We have a clear 3 cycle, a pretty easy 3 cycle in front. And what we're gonna do is we're definitely gonna do all these as a 3 cycle. So we're not gonna 3 cycle this one first. We're gonna 3 cycle this. This is a smart 3 cycle, puts these 3 together, and I already knew this one was here, so we can go boom, just like that, very fast. Now this is a great case because we're gonna solve 2 full edges in 1 cycle. We have this piece, like it's important that if essentially there are 2 3 solved ones where the edge is 3 parts solved, they have to have one of them has to have the other one's piece. So this one has this one, boom, blue and or orange and yellow back. Now we have our no parity last 2 edge case. Pretty nice, and 3x3 stage, probably nothing too wild going on here. Oops. Except 6 pairs, yikes. And that was 6x6 walkthrough solves. So thanks for tuning in. Next week, 7x7.